goodness. Oh, wow! In your life, have you seen anything like that?
Kia ora team, and welcome back to the Cutline, a golfing podcast brought to you by the TAB. My name is Carl Tiley. I'm joined in studio by my good mate, Paul Mawate. Paul, how are you, mate?
Very good, Carl. Yeah. What a weekend.
What a week.
Yeah.
Wow.
How good. I just, once again, turned it on.
Exhausted after Masters week.
Well, yeah. It's, you miss out on a wee bit of sleep.
Patrick Jones also joins us. I know he is up and about, or was up and about for the Masters. How are you, Pat? Bit of a come down?
Yeah, no, I'm good. Thoroughly enjoyed the Masters. Was a shame it wasn't a little bit more competitive, but still plenty of good stuff going on there. So, yeah, no, it's always a fun week. Didn't manage to find too many winners myself, but I think you guys did pretty well for the punters, so that's something.
Yeah, we'll get to the results shortly. We weren't actually going to do a podcast this week, but we thought, given the Masters and all the rage about it, Tiger and Scotty and Cam and everything, I thought we would have a quick recap, and then we'll go into the RBC Heritage.
Not the worst field.
No, that also led me to believe we should probably do something. 5 of the top 10 in the world in the field this week. So yeah, we'll get into that shortly. We'll start with Scottie Scheffler. If you haven't watched the Masters, not sure why you're listening to this, but Scottie Scheffler wins by 3. Could have been
after 4-putting the
72nd
hole.
Or 6, yeah. If you had, we're just saying off air, if you had the winner to win by 4 or plus more shots, you would have been absolutely livid. But if you're like Paul and had the winner to bogey the 72nd hole, or worse, as it turns out,
yeah, we paid out.
You'd be chuffed.
We paid out $4.
Scottie Scheffler is the real deal. He is the world number 1. He's won 4 of his last 6. What do you reckon, boys?
This
yeah,
is time.
I mean, I was super impressed. It wasn't a sort of performance either where it felt at all unsustainable, right? He was pretty solid all around. He'd get out of position occasionally, but never seemed to always recover really well, putted super well. And yeah, there was nothing crazy about it. Like maybe you compare it to Rory's round on Sunday where it was Rory, shooting at pins and things like that. It just, yeah, that was the complete performance from Sheffler. It's sort of like the last cherry on the top of the cake for me. Winning not wide to wire, but holding the lead for 3 rounds like that as well. Sort of all his other wins, he'd flown home on Sunday or was in the match play. So to win a tournament like that, it's very hard to argue with the performance from him.
Paul, big fan?
Yes, big time. He said he was crying the morning or the night before or the morning of the final round to his wife, saying he wasn't sure if he deserved to be there or whether he...
I'm not sure he did either if he's crying. But...
Oh, gee. Wow.
Save that for after the round.
I think he did.
No, I don't think he did.
Didn't he?
No.
Well, yeah, there you go. He got it all out of the way in the morning. Yeah. No, he did the way he's been playing. I think he shot under par all 4 days.
Not
the final day.
Not the first day.
Didn't he start with a 71? Oh, anyway,
could have done.
He just played the most consistent golf there for the whole 4 days for mine. Deserved the win, as you say, coming in off 3 victories out of his last 5 tournaments before the Masters. He had the form.
Yeah.
And he had the game.
Yeah. 4 and 6 now. I can't remember what the stat was, but the only other person to do something similar, a major, WGC, and something else within a short time frame is Tiger, who's done it about 12 times. And Scotty's, he's up there now. He's, there were a few people doubting whether he was the world number 1 and the best golfer in the world, but I think
I've put the exclamation mark on that now.
He's certainly the best golfer in the world in the last 6 events, that's for sure.
Good on him.
Couple of things from the round. I'm going to ask you guys what you think the turning point was in the round, or if there was one at all. For me, I think it was the first hole. blows his approach shot straight through the back of the green. Cam's stumped his pretty much, and then he gets up and down out of nowhere, and that for me probably just settles the nerves a little bit. As you say, if he was crying and doubting himself before the round, that probably helps him get back to square anyway. What about you, Paul?
The third.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get there now. Was it a drop? Should not have been a drop.
Don't hit it behind the scoreboard if you don't want to have to hit it around the scoreboard.
The scoreboard is not temporary. It's there all the time. It is concreted into the ground.
I'm not an official. I'm just saying on the third, that's the turning point for me, because Cam was very, very good the first couple of holes. He had picked up a couple of shots. There was opportunity there for Scotty to, at best, bogey the third hole, and next thing you know, his lead's all gone. Or possibly Cam's taken the lead off him. But for him to do that on the third, I think that was the turning point for me. Of course, you can think further on, but yeah, I think that's the one that really did settle his nerves. First of all, getting the relief, and then the chip.
Would have been 20-foot pass had it missed.
Correct. And I think that's got to have an effect on your playing partner to see you do that.
Oh, for sure.
As well. So, yeah, for mine, the turning point was on the third.
Patrick?
Yeah, I think we've sort of touched on it, right? The chip, if that doesn't go in, it's not going to be an easy shot to make par there. And then Cam's probably at least got a share of the lead. It changes the whole mentality of the group. Cam, he's still Cam, so he's probably going to, go for pins and do whatever he does, but it certainly helps. But I actually think it wasn't on Sunday, so it's technically not an answer to this question, but the approach to 18 on Saturday after he blew it away left into the bushes, that was the shot of the tournament for me, and that was really what probably in terms of if he doesn't get up and down there or doesn't at least hit it close, he's looking at maybe a one-shot lead going into Sunday. It's a whole different ballgame then, and you look at what happened on the first couple of holes Sunday, but for me that was that was the most important shot he played all weekend.
Yeah, I can get behind that. And the third, I think, if I don't know how he played it, but as you say, Cam going at pins, I feel like if Scotty had have missed that chip or not gone on and rolled through the back of the green, Cam might not have played such an aggressive chip up like he did. It was almost like he was trying to go shot for shot, which led to a bogey. I thought the approach on 15 was pretty ballsy too, going for it in two. But, the alternative is leave it short and then still got a chance of going in the water with your third if you mess the third up, or
you can spin it back off the green.
Yeah,
can't you? I mean, if your tee shot on the 15th gives you the opportunity to go for the green and two, I think you have to.
Yeah.
You have to be confident in the way you're playing. And that's his game anyway. So, right decision there.
Just his natural shot shape as well on 15, right? Like he knows if it didn't draw as much as it did, he's got that bunker out there and then a lot of green to work with. So, it turned out to be the smart play, but you can certainly see the thought process in getting there. Can't argue with it. Although after what Hideki did on 15 last year, you could be forgiven for playing a bit safe, no doubt.
And Cam, man, we talked about already, but the obvious starting point there is 12. A hole that has derailed many a player over the years.
It's derailed an Aussie before, isn't it?
Yeah.
A good friend.
It was just a bad shot, really. Everyone's saying, we shouldn't have gone to the pin, but for starters, didn't hit it right because it didn't even get close to the pin. It didn't even get close to clearing the water.
It's amazing how many people, or how many professional golfers struggle at that par three. If they're not putting it in the water, they're putting it long and into the roses or into the bunker at the back. it's just obviously the wind swirls around there, and so the wind can be, I guess, blown in a slightly different direction up on the tee than it is down on the green. But to see so many of them either come up well short or go too big,
It's comforting.
I do that on just regular par threes here in Wellington.
Yeah. Patrick, thoughts on? I thought he did pretty well to sort of come back. He looked like at one point there after 12 and 14, I think he bogeyed. He could have really chucked the towel in, but he fought back a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he was always going to play aggressive, being down a couple of shots. Right, I think the birdies later on certainly would show what he's capable of. He was probably playing a similar shot, so chances are, if he could have hit a similar shot on 12 to he did on 16 there, and then it's a whole different ball game. But I don't think he might have looked like he was pretty annoyed. He was not throwing his clubs around, but looked like he wanted to snap his club in half pretty badly at one stage there on 12. So, I don't know. That's just Cam, right? He's always going to be able to clear his head pretty easily and sort of focus on the golf. But yeah, it was certainly, I did think there was maybe some real immolation potential there late on after 13, but no, did well.
I was certainly angry. I was on the hook for a big payout if Cam got up.
Well, those who took the power play for Scottie Scheffler and Cam Smith to both finish in the top 10 at $6 were very, very happy.
You sound like you know one or two of them, do you?
I was speaking to someone this morning who took it. Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Those who took the power play for Cam and Scotty to both shoot even par or under on Sunday at what I thought was a very generous 340 weren't quite so happy at that stage. Almost got it back there.
Tough. Someone else we should probably talk about, Rory McIlroy.
Wow,
What a round.
If he could get rid of the one sort of off round that he has, almost.
I've got some stats on that.
Yeah.
I had a look. So between 2010 and 2014, when he won his 4 majors, he was 19 under in the first round of majors, 16 strokes better than anyone else. In his last 27 majors, since his last major win at Valhalla, he is 35 over for the first round. So when you extrapolate that out, it's not too, just over one over. But it's still...
He's giving it away to the field, though.
Giving it away to the field. Since 2014, that win, he is in rounds 2 to 4. He's 68 under par. Only Spieth and Koepka are better than him. Just shows the potential and shows what Rory is capable of. I absolutely love watching Rory, and there's no, other than Tiger, I don't feel like there's a player out there that gives me more joy and hype when he gets going. Pat?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun whenever he gets going. The way he sort of wears it all on his sleeve like that, the celebration on 18 when he chipped in and everything, there's a bit more emotion with you sort of build along with him when he's on a roll like that than maybe a lot of other players. But yeah, in terms of that, the stat around the first round lead, does that mean there's just going to be one of these majors where he does get off to a hot start and then he's going to be just impossible to catch because we know he can get it rolling over the weekend, but he just can't.
Just get on him.
All the head start.
He has a big first round.
Yeah, it's pretty exhausting and wild all at once. I said to a friend in the group chat during the round, I said, if Rory can get to 8 or 9, I think we had 3 or 4 holes to go. If we get to 8 or 9, we've got a,
competition.
We're in for a wild finish, but he could have got to 10 or 12, and I don't think Scotty would have been phased at all. He seemed very calm out there.
That bunker shot on the 18th, just because you've got to aim right at the flag because to let the natural sort of curve of the green bring the ball down towards the hole. Obviously, he's played there a number of times, so he knows exactly what he has to do. But to actually execute it, But then for Morikawa to do the same thing
That was
in the
nuts.
same pair,
That was nuts.
you'll never see that in your lifetime
No.
again. It won't happen again.
And the best part is they've both got their arms up for each other, like chahooing and yelling. And what about Faldo? Well done, champ.
Mhm.
He's I saw he's come out this morning or yesterday, Patrick, and said, I've been in the booth for 18 years. And that was my first mistake. I made a real cock up.
What did he say?
He made a real cock up.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Might
mean,
have to beep that one out, Ribs.
I think we all know about Faldo by now. That was not great, but I don't want to get rolling downhill like Rory on Sunday afternoon. So
All right, one more player I wanted to talk
I
about.
wonder who it could be.
Well, we have to, right? It was awesome. It was unbelievable.
We probably saw more of him than we saw of Scottie Scheffler.
And as we should. He's already wrapped up the pit, probably for the next 2 years
Oh,
at least.
just give him the check now.
If you don't know who we're talking about, it's the cat, Tiger. I don't know. Where do you start, Patrick?
yeah, like everything that's going to be said about Tiger's pretty much been said, right? But you can't sort of sum up just how cool it was to see him out there on Friday morning our time when he got to 1 under and sort of. I was on Twitter at the time, and I think about one of those moments where just 20 tweets in a row, like, wow, Tiger, big cat. Like, Twitter was just going off. It was one of those really cool moments to see him back out there doing his thing. And even though he faded, I think, he surpassed all expectations just by it was tied for 10th after the first round, which when you saw what sort of state he was clearly in by even Friday afternoon, it was pretty amazing.
He beat 75% of the top players in the world or something over the 2 rounds at the Masters. Like, it's
Making the cut was money in the bank.
sure was. I faded, looked sore. He was really hobbling after his interview, or after he left the 18th green. That walk back to the clubhouse to sign his card, I was like, Jesus, just give the guy a card. He looked in all sorts.
I mean, obviously he was as fresh as he could be on day one, and the golf sort of reflected that. So if he can sustain that sort of, I don't know if it's fitness, but more, with the sort of operations that he's had, if he can get through all 4 rounds without that sort of, day 2, you could see there was a significant limp there already, and he was struggling to get around the course. If he can get back into a condition where that doesn't affect him through 4 rounds, he's still a chance. He's still a chance. The one thing that I guess was counting against him, before the accident, he used to get down very, very low to sort of read putts.
Yeah.
And he can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he'll ever be able to do it again.
Yeah.
But he couldn't do that at Augusta. He was crouching Tiger. He was just getting sort of halfway to where he usually would be to read a putt.
Yeah.
And his putting, I don't know if it was because he couldn't read them as well as he used to be able to because he couldn't get as low, or because the discomfort that he was in, he wasn't hitting the putts as truly as he usually did. So a big part for me for Tiger is if he can get back into a condition where it's not hurting, or he's not feeling discomfort while playing, then you've got to give him a chance of picking up another major.
St Andrews later this year. He's confirmed to be there. Flat course.
Won there twice.
I wonder if let's have a
2000 and 2005.
Both in pretty convincing fashion.
Indeed.
I mean, in terms of like difficulty of walk, you're not going to get a much stark difference between getting around Augusta 4 times
and St Andrews.
St Andrews, which is just a nice little seaside stroll.
Well, you can get $51 for Tiger Woods at the moment at St Andrews, and I tell you what, I am just going to put a little $10 on right now, just in case that price comes in a little bit. Done.
What's our liability up from to win the Open yet? Is it anyway?
I don't know, but it was 3 million at one point for the Masters, and quite possibly even closer to 4. It was nuts. Tiger mania.
Yeah, we were seeing. To be fair, we were seeing the same sort of action on Tiger in the Masters just gone as we used to see when he was in his prime, paying around $5 to win a tournament. So when you get the same sort of action that you get on a $5 shot, when he's actually paying $50 to $40, the liability stacks up quite quickly. So, yeah, he was. Funnily enough, our second worst liability was Cam Smith.
Mm-hmm.
So Scottie Scheffler is a friend of the TAB.
Do you think we see Tiger before St Andrews, or will he just? That's the only other.
I don't know. He said he'll try and get ready for PGA and the US Open, but given those courses are a little bit harder, maybe even harder to walk than the Masters, I don't know.
I can't see him doing it.
I feel like somewhere like this week, the RBC, a nice short course where he can play shots, doesn't have to hit driver, and it's a reasonably flat, would be a good place for him to play if he wants to have a couple of normal starts. But he's obviously not going to up after the Masters.
Yeah, I had a quick look through the calendar, and this sort of wasn't that perfect combination of an easy enough course to walk with a significant enough event that it's going to be worth his time to show up for. But surely the PGA Tour, like, they know what it's worth broadcast-wise and everything for Tiger to show up. They can make a few calls and something and get another nice little easy walk on the schedule for him a few weeks before the Open, you'd think?
Yeah, well, I'm just doing the same.
Next week's PGA tournament will be at Bulcock Farms.
Yeah.
Terrible walk.
No hills.
Yeah.
What?
Where is the Open? So Barracuda. I mean, the Scottish Open, a couple of weeks out.
Is he going to want to play 2 weeks in a row, though?
It's 2 weeks. Oh, it is, because the Barracuda is an alternate. That is true. Maybe Travelers, but if he plays US, he's not going to. Yeah,
I don't think we'll
tough.
see
We might
him
not
play
see him
until St Andrews.
unless he plays the PGA.
Can't see that happening.
Yeah, I'd say it's odds on that next time we see him is at St Andrews, but
I'd love to see him at Zurich with someone. Imagine him and Rory at
Charlie.
Zurich.
Sounds like we're going to get some good teams at the Zurich. Morikawa and Hovland.
Yeah.
Hopefully Cam and Leash defend the title.
Yeah.
Makes it a wee bit more interesting.
Does. One question I forgot to ask for Rory for you guys. Does he win a green jacket?
I'm still leaning towards no. Just it's clearly so in his head, and he's got maybe 10 or 12 more Masters when he's going to be close to his peak. He's not going to go off much shorter than that, any of them. So just statistically speaking, I'd lean no, but wouldn't shot late. It only takes him getting hot one time to do it. But yeah, there's just so many good young guys coming through. Like Scotty's not going to go anywhere. Colin Morikawa is going to be a thing for many years to come. Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth, plenty of competition.
Well, he's got 12 more chances than us three combined. So good luck to him.
Thanks.
Is there anyone else? Is there anyone else from the weekend that you, after seeing them in action at Augusta again, you think they're like a future Masters champion in the making, or whose opinion massively improved?
Not a Masters champion, but I thought Kevin Na played really, really well on a course that really didn't suit him.
Gross.
Well, look, he had a 79 in the third round and then 69 on the final round. But it's a course that just does not suit him. But he just kept plugging away, and I enjoyed watching him go to pick the ball up before it's actually in the hole. So,
because for me, Cam, I think after that, like, it's so easy when you come in, you're the height guy. I don't think anyone was probably more tip than Cam was, and to actually put a performance like that and live up to the hype, and there were, the 2 doubles on Thursday. That's what his third really good performance at Augusta now. For me, he's someone like, he's even younger than Rory. He's going to be there or thereabouts most years, you'd think, and I'd certainly be pretty positive on his chances of eventually winning one if he keeps putting himself in contention like that.
Zalatoris.
Yeah, Zalatoris.
Yeah.
Well, he's had a second and a fourth in his
First
two
two
Master
starts.
starts.
Yeah. Even Sungjae, he was up there
Yeah.
again. Doesn't really move the needle in terms of hype. But yeah, he likes Augusta. Very concerning to see Schwartzel and Willett that high up the leaderboard again.
That had Korean fried chicken.
They might.
Oh,
Did we
yeah.
see any of Schwartzel on the broadcast on Monday morning, though? I completely forgot. I was tracking top 10s and top 5s and ties and everything, and I completely forgot it was there.
Yeah, probably for good reason.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Hudson Swafford. Not as a potential Masters winner. The fact that his his club head snapped as he played the shot, and the shot still.
The ball went through the green.
Yes. Yeah.
It was awesome. Matsuyama, wouldn't be surprised to see him win another one.
Yeah, to come in and be pretty well in contention for the first 2.5 rounds at least, after not playing a lot of golf recently and obviously not being 100%, he's another one, have on all your master shortlists.
And obviously Morikawa too.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else we want to talk about Masters-wise? No.
Only 300 and something more sleeps to go before the next one.
Yep. Let's move on to this week then. Short, sharp show today. RBC Heritage. Paul, what do you know about?
We're not looking at betting results?
Yes, sorry. We will.
No, we're moving on.
No, we're not. We're going to look at these betting results. And I can tell you, it's not good for Patrick.
Oh, no.
He got stripped out. Went all in on the big guns and they did not fire.
He did wire to wire, didn't he?
Wire to wires. There's DJ Brooks, Spieth, there's Rahm, Finau's in there, Justin Thomas, yeah.
Had Cam Champ as my roughie, who finished top 10, but I didn't actually have any money on him, so that was good.
Yeah, tough scenes for Patrick. I don't know what's tougher, taking Tony Finau to win or Tony Finau's clothing options through those rounds. Some of them horrible. I am up 48.50 for the week. Had 3 winners. Cam Smith top 5. Rory McIlroy top 5, and Tiger to make the cut. And Paul up 40.
Yeah.
Corey Connors, Group E winner. Nice. And the winner of the tournament, the bogey, the 72nd hole.
You're guilty.
So that means I win again.
And Taylor Gooch wasn't that far away.
I know, we didn't back him.
I did.
Oh, did you?
For a top 10, I think.
Oh, T14?
Yeah, he was. I think he 1 stroke outside the top 10. So,
yeah.
And he was, there or thereabouts on that final day, and he might just sneak in. So yeah, not the worst for someone who hadn't played there before.
Yeah. All right. Now we move on to this week. What do you know about the RBC Heritage, Paul?
We're heading to South Carolina, Hilton Head, where we find the Harbour Town golf links to pass 71, just a tick under 7,100 yards. There's 3 par 5s, 4 par 3s, designed by Peter Dye, opened in 1967. The fairways are Bermuda, as are the greens. Key stats there, approach play, driving accuracy, greens and regulation, scrambling, and the ability to play in windy conditions, as we usually find, at least on one of the days, there'll be a bit of wind about Harbour Town golf links. You're looking for correlated courses, Seaside course for the RSM Classic, the Waialae Country Club, where they play the Sunny Open, the St. Jude Classic at TPC Southwind, and the Corrales Punta Cana Resort.
Very nice. Anything you want to add, Pat?
Now, Paul's done a pretty good job there. He's touching on my key metrics.
Yeah. You mentioned the second smallest greens on tour.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, very
Yes,
small greens.
small greens.
Scrambling key. Let's look into it. And we'll give last week's loser a chance to redeem himself early. Patrick, your best, please.
Shane Lowry, who had a very good week at Augusta last week. It's always hard to know what to do with these guys who played Augusta the week before and if they're in contention or not. But Shane doesn't really strike me as someone who's going to be super burnt out by 4 days right up the pointy end of the leaderboard. He had his little go at his caddy on Saturday afternoon, but they seem to have kissed and made up. So I think he'll be ready to go. He's 9th and 3rd in 2 of his last 3 visits to Harbour Town, 2nd on tour for scrambling and top 30 strokes gained tee to green. Obviously loves the windy conditions as well, as we saw on Friday afternoon, Augusta time. And you think back to Royal Portrush, where it was one of the great windy tournaments of all time. So yeah, I just think he's playing great golf at the moment. It was right in contention down at the Honda a few weeks ago. $21, I think. If the wind does get up, which it looks like it could, he should love this course.
Yeah, very nice. I can definitely get behind Shane Lowry. You just made my decision for me.
You're going the other guy.
I'll go the other guy then. I had him on my list. Yours, please, Paul.
I'm going with Patrick Cantlay at $17. He's had 2 top 3s and a 7th at the RBC Heritage. So certainly the course seems to suit him. He finished runner-up at the Phoenix Open earlier this year. He comes in off a fairly solid 39th at the Masters. I'm just having a look. But he's 17th in strokes gained around the green and 21st in strokes gained putting. So on a course that does suit him, coming off an okay performance in the Masters, I like the chances of Mr. Patrick Cantlay at 17.
Nice. I think I took Patrick Cantlay here last year and he missed the cut.
He did.
Tough. I'm going Matt Fitzpatrick at 21. I was tossing up between him and Lowry. In a phenomenal run of form. He finished T14 last week. He's now had 9 finishes of T18 or better in his last 12 starts. He ranks 7th strokes gained tee to greens, 2nd around the greens, and 7th in putting. That's versus the field over the last 6 months. He's 40th in driving accuracy on tour and 3rd in scrambling. And he was 4th here last year. And there's a pair of T14s as well. So knows the course well. Matt Fitzpatrick at 21s.
Yes, I'm stuck in the middle with you, and I don't know what it is I should do.
Patrick, your mid-tier, please.
Cooch. Going back to the well after he got me a 2nd place at Texas a couple of weeks ago. He's playing obviously in pretty good form as well. Was 16th at the Valspar the week before that. He's won here and has 4 top 10s in his last 8 visits. Goes really well at the correlation courses. Was 7th at the Sony Open earlier this year. Obviously good form at Sea Island and down in Mexico. And then leads the tour in scrambling, which I think, according to all, seems to be the key indicator. So $51, I think he's a very good bet.
Paul?
Kevin Na at $41. As I said, he had a very, very good performance at the Masters, finished in the top 15. Before that, finished 9th at the World Golf Championship match play. He won the QBE shootout late last year. I know it's a funny tournament, but anyway. And was 13th in Hawaii at the Century Tournament of Champions. So he's in some pretty good form. Also 20th at the Sunny Open. So Kevin Na, who is playing very, very well at the moment. And I think just might go very, very well here. He's also had 2 top 5s and 3 top 10s at the RBC Heritage.
I am also taking Kevin, not Kevin.
Is he?
Kevin Kisner.
You're going the Kiz.
I am. I had 3. I was tossing up. I like Tyrrell Hatton here.
Yep.
But at 46s, Kevin Kisner stood out. Given his form, he missed the cut here last 2 years, but his form leading into those 2 years hasn't been as good as it was as good as it is this year, I should say. So he's got a T11 and a T7 here. Profiles really well. He's 5th on tour in driving distance, 47th greens in regulation, 37th strokes gain around the greens, and 7th strokes gain putting. And against the field on the course, he's 4th strokes gain off the tee, 9th tee to green, and 12th in ball striking. Not to mention his recent results. He was 3rd at Sony T8 the Tournament of Champions. He was 4th at the Players and 2nd in the match play. So missed the cut last week by 1 shot. I think Kevin Kisner, good shout.
Looks like a long shot, baby.
Patrick, you're roughy.
Going for another man who's missed the cut here the past several years, but prior to that, he had 4 finishes of top 3 or better in his 5 visits. That's Luke Donald, who's at $141. I shouted him out a couple of weeks ago at Texas. Didn't put him in my staking plan though. And he was right in contention. Well, not in contention, but I think he was in the top 20 up to the 3rd round. Faded in the 4th, but with a week off, I think he should suit Harbour Town. He was 16th at Valspar the week before Texas as well, so he's in good form. I think he's close, not obviously back to where he was 5 or 6 years ago, but he's in better form than he has been coming into Harbour Town the last few years. 25th in scrambling on tour this season and 4th for strokes gained approach. So he can put the ball near the hole on some of these tiny greens. And with the dart throw at 141s, just with the excellent course form.
I'm going to jump in here, Paul, because I'm also on Luke Donald at $141. I think he's actually finished runner-up here 5 times.
Yeah, he's got a crazy good record.
Which is nuts. Just to back up oldies have a good record here.
Too old.
So do outsiders.
Stuart Sink.
Just to back up what Pat was saying, on the course versus the field, this is getting into the nitty-gritties of the data, but he's 1st strokes gained short game approach and around the greens, 3rd in putting, and 4th tee to greens. So definitely have a look at the top 40, top 30, if nothing else.
Yeah. And he is 3 years younger than Stuart Sink was last year when he won here, just for your information, Paul. And
he was a former world number 1.
And if Alex Kigan-Reeves is listening, he once won both money lists in the same year.
And just a shout out to Stuart Sink, you can actually get him at $101.
Defending champ.
Are you taking Stuart Sink?
I'm taking a former champion.
Okay, but not Stuart Sink?
No.
Okay, well then, I read something earlier in someone else's golf preview, whether or not you'd back people after the Masters. And Stuart Sink's first 5 wins on tour came the week after competing in a major and doing all right too, finishing 13th, 28th, 17th, 17th, 14th. The next week he won. So did he finish T12 last week?
But you haven't taken him.
No, I'm not taking him.
Okay.
No, but just in case.
Yeah, the stats are there.
Outsiders, oldies, they love it here.
Too old.
Okay, your turn.
CT Pan at $101. Champion here in 2019.
Sorry, just for reference, Stuart Sink missed the cut last week.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you haven't taken him this week, then.
No.
He's also been in some fairly good form as well. Top 10 at the Genesis, top 20 at the Honda Classic. And as I said, has won here before in 2019. So I think at $101, definitely worth a little stab. So CT Pan 101.
Nice. Let's get to some betting action. Patrick, where is your $100 going this week?
Backing 6 guys, outright winner. I'm going to save on JT, $10 on him at 14s. We saw glimpses from him last week and he profiles really well here, so just don't want to be losing if he goes out and wins by 6. Then $5 on Shane Lowry at 21s, 4 on Matt Kuchar, 51, $3 on Tom Hoagie at 67, 2 on Mito Pereira at 86, and 1 on Luke Donald at 141. Backing Shane Lowry top 5, 10 at 650, Matt Kuchar 5 at $11, Tom Hoagie 5 at 10s, and 3 on Mito Pereira at 20s. Same set for top 10s, 20 on Lowry at 375, 10 on Cooch at 6s, 10 on Hoagie at 7s, and 5 on Mito at $10, and then just finish up with $7 on Luke Donald at top 20 at 750.
Wow, there's a lot. I like it. Paul.
Right. My $100. I'm going to go.
Lydia Ko to win.
No, I'm not touching the LPGA this week, but I do think Lydia is a very, very good chance in the Lotte Championship in Hawaii. She's our favourite at $10, didn't favorite? Yeah, favourite at $10. But no, I'm going all in on the RBC Heritage. 20 to win on Patrick Cantlay at $17, and 20 on Patrick Cantlay top 5 at $5.50. I'm going 20 on Kevin Na to be the Group D winner. He's paying $4 to be the Group D winner. And in the Group D, Daniel Berger, Jordan Spieth, and Tommy Fleetwood. Kevin Na is the outsider in that group at $4. Also $10 on Kevin Na to win at $41. $10 on Na for a top 10 at $5.50. And then my good friend CT Pan going $5 to win at $101, and $15 for a top 20 finish at $5.50.
Nice. Okay. 10 on Fitzpatrick to win, 21s. 10 on Fitzpatrick top 5 at $6.50, and 20 on Fitzpatrick top 10 at $3.50. And I'm going to do the same for Kevin Kisner, 10, 10, and 20 to win top 5 and top 10. That's at 46s, 11s, and $6.50. $5 on Luke Donald to win at $141. I didn't want to do that, but then I was like, oh, if he does win, I want something on. So $10 on Luke Donald top 40 at $3.30. And then I should have mentioned this earlier. The bookies have worked some magic in the back end, and you can now multi up top X markets. So someone in the top 40 into
not
someone
the same golfer,
not the same
golfers.
golfer, and not the same market. So you can't say go Kisner top 40, Luke Donald top 40,
But
someone
you
else
can
top
go
40.
Kisner top 40, CT Pan top 20, and Patrick Cantlay top 5.
Or you could use my example: Kisner top 40, Lowry top 30, Fitzpatrick top 20 at $8.10.
Nice.
And I'll put $5 on that.
I like that.
Yeah.
The fact you can do it. Yeah. Nice work by the bookies.
We had a good bet
Great.
like that going in our syndicate, and Max Homer ruined it for us.
Oh, what in the Masters?
In the Masters, yeah.
Come on. No. Whoever told you to put Max Homer in ruined it for you.
That was me.
Yes.
Right. No bonus back this week. We gave all the money away last week.
Boy, did we ever. And if Tiger had won, we wouldn't be doing these ever again.
Yeah. So
Tiger had finished top 20. We wouldn't have any promotions for a month, would we?
yeah, that's right. So we'll leave it there. Thanks for joining me, lads.
Cool.
Not sure when we'll be back. Easter next week. Might have a week off. I don't know. Have a look at the schedule.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But thanks for listening, and we will see you next time on The Cut Line.